It's iconic, unique, and handsome. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up you guys? Today I'll be reviewing the Heuer Monaco Calibre 11, reference number CAW211B. It's essentially the same as a regular Calibre 11 Monaco, the only difference is its gray dial. On March 3rd of 1969, Heuer released the first automatic chronograph to enter the market, which was quite significant considering that it was the first of its kind. Some would argue that it was Seiko or Zenith that was the first, and there's certainly a case to be made for each. Zenith introduced the first integrated automatic chronograph, and Seiko is believed to have made their collection readily available prior to both Heuer and Zenith. But in any case, even though it was modular in nature, Heuer is dated to have released their automatic chronograph first, at least in the books. The original Calibre 11 was a collaborative effort between brands like Breitling, Hamilton, and Heuer. The Calibre 11 ended up being introduced as a modular chronograph based on a micro-rotor Biram movement and a Dubois-Duprass chronograph mechanism. Among the original reference of the Heuer Monaco is the reference 1133G, which my modern Monaco pays tribute to in its style coloration. The crown of the Calibre 11 Monaco is placed on the left side of the case, not because it was intended to be a watch for left-handed people, but because Heuer wanted to showcase the fact that winding the crown was no longer necessary since the watch was now automatic. Since the release, the Heuer Monaco has appeared in quite a few pop culture media. In 1971, the Monaco appeared on the wrist of Steve McQueen in the movie Le Mans. In the present era, the Monaco has appeared on the wrist of likes of Dr. Shepard from Grey's Anatomy and Walter White from Breaking Bad. Despite it being horologically significant, the Calibre 11 Monaco wasn't very successful at launch. The quartz crisis of the 70s and 80s probably played a part in that, but fast forward to the present time and the Monaco has quickly grown to be an icon not to be trifled with. The unique case design as well as its rich heritage has distinguished the Monaco to be the most popular out of Tag Heuer's watch lineup in the modern era. This particular Monaco, reference CAW211B, is a limited edition of 1860 pieces, and it comes with a gray dial as you can see, than the rather standard blue. The Calibre 11 of the Monaco is a heavily modified Sellita movement, and it has the Sellita SW300-1 as its base, and a chronograph module attached to give it the chronograph function. The movement is rather decently decorated. You can see some nice perlage finish work and some decent Geneva stripes. Moving on to the chronograph capability of the watch, there are two subdials. The one on the left allows you to track time in 30-minute increments, and the one on the right tracks time in 60-second increments. When you push the chronograph pushers, they feel smooth and robust, and of course, the top pusher starts and stops the chronograph, and the bottom pusher resets it. The power reserve of the Calibre 11 is approximately 40 hours, and do keep in mind that if you do have the chronograph function running, it will decrease the power reserve. The Monaco has a water resistance rating of 100 meters, which is rather impressive for a chronograph, but I would shy away from taking this watch anywhere near a body of water, except maybe when you're washing your hands, or maybe you get it a little bit wet during the rain, because even though it has an impressive water resistance, if you accidentally push in the pusher while you're submerged in water, that can have water infiltrate the insides of the watch, and trust me, you do not want to have that happen to you. That'll result in a very expensive service bill. The top of the lugs are polished, but otherwise the rest of the case is satin finished. The lume doesn't compare to that of a diver's watch, but it's good enough for you to be able to tell the time in the dark. Moving on to dimensions, the Monaco has a diameter of 39mm, lug-to-lug distance of 47.5mm, and since the Monaco is a square watch, I can't forget to mention its diagonal length of 52.3mm. Due to its squarish shape, it definitely wears larger than traditional circular watches of its diameter. Even though this Monaco has a diameter of 39mm, Due to the extended real estate given by the diagonal length, the watch fits more akin to a 42mm circular watch. Despite it being on a strap, the Monaco is quite heavy due to its 14.5mm of thickness, so if you're the type that loves feeling the weight of the watch on your wrist, it'll definitely be a plus for you. But if you basically want to be a little bit more understated and low-key, that's not what you'll get with the Monaco. My wrist size is 7.1 inches, and I would recommend the Calibre 11 Monaco for anyone with the wrist size of 6 inches and up. I have on the OEM black tag Heuer strap on this Monaco. It has perforations on the side for better ventilation and a more sportier look. The strap also has quick remove features, so if you wish to customize the Monaco with different straps, you may do so without the fear of scratching up the lugs with your tool. To size the strap, instead of having to stick the buckle in a hole, you slide the strap into the space in between the buckle for an easy adjust. One of the greatest features of this Monaco is its dial. Not only is it aesthetically pleasing with its symmetry and uniquely positioned hour indices, the dial plays with the light beautifully, and the way the hour indices pops out is just striking. Depending on the light, you can get color tones anywhere in between light gray to black, and the way the black subdials contrast with the gray dial is engrossing. Depending on the strap, you can probably wear the Monaco with anything from more relaxed outfits to something more akin to business casual. And if you're daring enough, you can probably even wear it with a suit if you have it on the proper alligator strap. In any case, due to its thickness, the watch isn't going to be sliding down any cuffs. But to be honest, that may not be such a negative considering that the watch's unique design can easily serve as a conversation starter. Now that I've given you my review and analysis, I kind of wanted to dive in depth as to why I decided to pull the trigger on this particular Monaco reference. Well, it goes back a few years with the Monaco CW2113. That was actually my very first luxury watch purchase. And I loved it. I loved everything about it, from its profile, its thickness, its unique case design, except there was one aspect about it that I just couldn't get past, and that was its plastic watch crystal. I believe the CW2113 has plexiglass as its watch crystal, and it kept getting scratched. You know, I'm relatively careful with my watches, but every time I stood up from a desk or anything like that, I would get scratches. And yes, I do have polywatch, but just seeing the scratches and having to live with them at least for the rest of the day until I got home, it just drove me nuts. So long story short, I sold the watch, but I was still very much in love with the Monaco design and heritage. So I decided to look for a replacement, and at some point I was really close to pulling the trigger on a standard Calibre 11 Monaco, the blue version, but something held me back. But it's a good thing that I didn't pull the trigger, because a couple months back I found this limited edition gray dial for a really good deal. I ended up pulling the trigger and haven't looked back since. And one really cool thing is one of my really good friends, he also bought the Monaco around the same time, but he bought the blue one. So we both have separate dials, and it might sound a little silly, but I wanted to have part of being able to have contrasting dial colors for photos. When we took photos together, that was a small factor in my decision to buy the gray. And once again, I know it's silly, but well, you know, this is a hobby after all, right? Anyway, the Monaco has been my go-to when I'm driving around town or just hanging out with friends. I've had overall positive experience with it in terms of wear, and it's a great conversation starter. I haven't had much negatives, but if I really had to nitpick, the Monaco's thickness can be a little bit cumbersome when you're just trying to go on throughout your day. And what I mean by that is that the watch is hazardous to dings and scratches from impact, but its elevated sapphire crystal has been able to tank all hits so far without getting a single scratch. And that goes back to my original Monaco, which had plexiglass, so that basically anytime I dinged it, it would just get a big scratch. But anyway, that's besides the point. Anyhow, that's all for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.